Michael?
Just you asked a factual question about the Green Parties internationally.
Yeah.
The Green Party of California is affiliated with the Green Party of the United States. The Green Party of the United States is a member of two international organizations, the Federation of the Green Parties of the Americas, which has Green Parties from Canada down to Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and the Global Greens, which has about 90 Green Parties around the planet. The Global Greens next meeting recently been set. We're going to be meeting May 1st to 4th in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and specifically around the idea of climate change, with the focus that many of the climate change issues around the planet deal with the role of megacities. And since Sao Paulo, of course, is so significant in that right, we're going to be bringing people from around the planet and talking about how Greens are working to solutions to those sort of issues.
2008, Mike?
In 2008, May 1st to 4th. So truly we're a global organization, and this state party itself has direct links. We send representatives to the Federation of the Americas, we send them to the Global Greens, we send observers to various international meetings.
Just a quick question on the other Green Parties in other parts of the world. Are they all have the same policy in regards to funding? In terms of, I know that the California Green Party doesn't accept
the primary
funding,
difference that should make it into the U.S. press is that in other industrialized nations where we have representatives on the federal level, it's because they have a fair voting system of proportional representation and they have public financing. We would have the same success here, and when the press covers us here and simply says Greens failed in this race and that race and therefore they don't represent a real portion, our voting system, our public financing system understates the real support for Greens. And if we go down to 17-year-old voters and had a proportional system, many of the people in this room would be in the California State Legislature or the U.S. Congress. And therefore, we learn from Green Parties in other countries, and it helps us to promote these kind of ideas here. The other thing I'll just say about different voting systems is people like Larry, people like Lou, the fact that they're able to govern viably on the municipal level should help teach people that, okay, they have good policies, they can govern, why aren't they in government on higher levels? And therefore, our strategy of continuing to focus on municipal races is a way of educating people for the need for electoral system change.
Doesn't that take money, and take a lot of money to win campaigns?
Well, on the more municipal level, obviously we need less money, and your local reputation can work better. And the thing with the proportional representation system is there you only have to have the people who agree with you vote for you, and you get in office. In our system, you have to get people who don't agree with you to vote for you to get a high plurality or a majority, and that's where the big money comes in, and that's where you find politicians who have to dumb down their approach to get people to vote for them who wouldn't otherwise do so. So when we, Daniel made his point about the type of politicians we have in D.C., a winner-take-all system produces people who can't really stand for issues that they're fundamental about, because to get elected you can't do that, because you can't cobble together a majority, because really there are many faces that need to be represented, many diverse angles, and if you have to deny that kind of diversity to be elected.
I guess what I'm trying to get down to is that it would seem that in other countries the Green Parties are willing to accept corporate money as long as they're from responsible green corporations, that kind of thing. But I think the policy, in, at least in California, is that you'd accept no money from corporations. Is that correct?
The policy in our state party and our national party is no corporate money, and I think it's different in different places, in different parts of the world. I was at a German Green Conference in Berlin last year. Sure, they did take it from some social movement affiliated take nonprofits, but they're also in a situation where the bulk of their money is coming from public financing. They get so many euros per vote that they get, and it's one thing, and while I think in our country we have to make the point here that the entire political system is funded by corporate dollars. If you go to a place where the German Greens, where most of their money, and they have got about 300 staff members just based on public financing, the entire system is mostly driven by public dollars, and the issue about having a few greenish nonprofits isn't corrupting it the way here. So we have to make our point here to our political system that we won't take the kind of money that's corrupting everything else.
So you're trying to change the system?
Yeah, and if we got to a point where there was 85% public financing, and then we wanted to have the debate about that, it's still, we'd see where we fell down, but it isn't the same issue here overseas as it is here, because our system is driven by that kind of money.
Do you feel like
our party puts aside a certain amount of dollars every year that we as a state party dedicate to support candidates, and there's kind of a point system, and the first point on all of that is to support the re-election of incumbents, which are on the municipal level, which, if re-elected, show people that we can govern, which helps us give the substantiation to make the argument for public financing and proportional representation. Some of the other smaller parties in California, the Libertarians, Peace and Freedom, some of the ones that have lost ballot status, did not focus on winning local races. We have 55 people in local office. Those people are our best argument for electoral reform on a higher level. And that's why we put state funds into supporting those local candidates.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice for the record.
Thank you.